it puts the lotion on its skin. It does this whenever it's told. Not really, but as you can see with all the tools behind us, you might think we were going to reenact a scene from Silence of the Lambs. Let's get on topic. Hey everybody, it's Thomas with Get Out Arizona, and you are watching another episode of Toolbox Topic. I'm joined once again today by my co-host, Brandon Van Leuven. Brandon, how the hell are you?
I'm fantastic.
Nice. And we are filming once again at Trek Bicycle Store, West Phoenix, because it's where the cool kids hang out. And me. So, and just to let you guys know, Brandon may look a little sweaty. He's already been working hard this morning.
He was a tough one.
He was a little worked up, wanted to change the shirt. I said, stop. You're still sexy. And he knows it.
It's hot, yeah. You make me nervous.
Make a lot of people nervous, but that's another video for another time and definitely another channel. Brandon, we have all these great tools lined out. Some of these tools I have never seen before. Ironically enough, the subject of our video today.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, you guys use this stuff. Maybe not all that often, but you
Actually,
use it.
these are the ones that we use fairly often
Oh,
that
okay.
we don't really pull out on the other side of the wall where
Right.
people
Scare the crap
where
out
people
of them.
can see us. But these are the ones that I think people probably haven't seen us use, but we use them on a regular basis.
Okay.
Let's start over here.
Okay. Yeah,
This
we'll
is
work
a
our way down.
Sweet little set here. Anytime we got to replace bearings, this is our bearing
Oh.
press set. This
Nice.
is how you do it right. I'm not going to lie to you. I've put bearings in with hammers before, but that's on my own bike. This is the right way. What? Oh, okay.
There you go. Remember, Van and White. Hey, there we go. Okay.
So this one, every one of these little fittings is specific to the type of bearing to be pressed.
Wow.
It's a very, very accurate set, and it just makes everything very easy. And once again, accuracy is key because
Absolutely.
bearings are fairly fragile. And once you start going in crooked, we could potentially do some damage to them.
Well, you can actually do damage to the where you're trying to seat it into
And
if
that
it
as
goes
well.
in crooked.
Yep, if it goes in crooked. So
Yeah.
we have this nice little set for that. Bearing press is typically something that's a little time consuming, so we wait till we get to the back of the shop before we start using these tools. We have a number of other different ones for other applications, but this is kind of the
main
nicest, yeah, the main set that we use, and actually
Nice.
the nicest looking set
That's
for that.
pretty cool.
So that's super cool. Talking about bearings and how fragile they can be.
Fragile.
This is how we get them suckers out sometimes. So
I won't even comment on what that thing looks
we have a lot
like.
of phallic looking tools today, which is all right.
And
'cause it's
remember what I
perfect for
told you,
Toolbox Topics.
when you have men naming tools and designing tools, this is what you get.
Yeah. That's a number of applications, I guess. But this one specifically is for removing the bottom bracket press fit bearings. So you'll pull it all the way through, it'll splay out. And what we do then is we use the hate side of this
I
guy
hate the side.
and you just pop those guys out, and those bearings are never the same again. So when you come in just wanting to change things around, we're going to kill it. We're probably going to kill it. So this is a replacement tool pretty much only.
Right.
If we're going to replace
Not
that
for
bearing.
extraction and reusing, but just for straight up
Right,
replacement.
right. Sometimes we get lucky and the bearing still feels good, but usually we kill it.
Okay. All right. Moving on down
Moving
the table.
on down. We use this one almost every day. This is our derailleur alignment gauge.
Oh, okay.
And how this works. I mean, we can maybe actually do another topic
We'll
on
do
this
a more
later
in-depth
on.
video because I'd
More
really
in-depth
like to
one.
know how that works.
Absolutely. So we remove the derailleur. This is actually the exact same fitting where a derailleur attaches to the frame. And what we do then, use this as a reference, this piece, to the wheel.
Okay.
And as we spin around the wheel, we can see how far that derailleur has been pushed in the hanger.
okay.
And using this guy, it's a very inaccurate science, but we do a little bendy here and there, try to get it working as good as possible.
Okay.
A lot of times now with the newer bikes, we have replaceable derailleur hangers. So if it's bad enough, like, nah, let's just
replace
get
the
a
hanger.
new one.
Okay.
But if we have an old steel bike or an old aluminum bike, it's scary, but we can maybe heat it up a little bit and try to give this a little bit bendy.
It's not a crack torch. It's to heat it up for the little bendy.
And we'll move on to that guy later. But this guy we use almost on a daily basis around
Okay.
here because that piece of the frame is very fragile and it bends quite easily if not taken care of.
Okay.
So That is the derailleur hanger alignment gauge. by
Nice.
Park.
I like it.
Moving down the line. This poor guy, we don't use as much as we used to. This used to be a fun tool to break out. This is for pressing cups into a frame for the headset.
Oh, yeah.
And now that everything's integrated now, we don't
Right.
use it quite as much as we used to, but it's a super cool tool. Once again, accuracy and getting it all in there nice and straight, because again, you can do damage to the frame
Right.
if it's not done correctly. So this is a tool that I kind of miss a little bit. It's super cool. But now with technology, we don't use it as much.
Do you miss me, Brandon? You haven't touched me yet.
I'm gonna find another tool for that.
Oh, Brandon, you're speaking my love language.
There's that blowtorch over there, for instance.
Nice. See,
So-
I bring it out in everybody. All right, so moving on.
All right, these two tools go hand in hand.
Okay.
You're gonna like this one too. So what we have here.
I would beat somebody with this
Yes,
thing.
exactly. So what we have here, we'll use this guy first. This is the crown race removal tool.
Okay.
And typically, when this thing is not broken, there are two blades that sit inside here.
Okay.
And if we have the fork, we push this down, the steer tube will go inside here.
Okay.
And we will pinch off the crown race with this thing using these guys.
Okay.
It'll gain a little bit of grip, and then by bringing this guy down, it'll move everything up and nicely and evenly pull the crown race off of the fork.
Gotcha.
Really cool tool to use as well. Once again, I'm sorry we're missing the blades because they're broken. They're always broken. New ones are on the way someday.
Story of our lives right now.
To get that crown race back on our new fork or whatever we're doing, we got this guy right here.
There we go.
Looks like the silver bullet, huh?
It does.
The Marines know what I'm talking about. But this is what we use in conjunction with love-hate once again.
Right?
This is our love-hate. This is the hate side. This is the love side.
They're both hate sides.
And,
Don't let them fool you.
Depending on the shape of your crown race and the size of the steer tube, we will use this guy. And typically, we'll have someone help us because we don't want to hit them on the ground. but
Right.
We just literally pound on the new crown race onto the new fork.
Okay.
With this guy. We do this quite a bit. People are always changing out forks and stuff, so these are very commonly used tools back in the shop.
So if you have a bike, you can actually change the fork out on.
Yep, remove. Yes, that's true too. So removal tool and then setter
Nice.
tool
All
right
right.
here.
Well, there you have it. Cool. What's this one? I mean, this looks like it goes together.
That guy, those two pieces go together.
All right, so-
This one we don't use quite as often as the next tool we're going to show you, but it is a necessary tool. And I pulled out the nice clean blade because the other one was thrashed. So this is the bottom bracket facing set. There's also one for the
okay.
headset as
Yeah.
well that we can use. I think we can use them interchangeably, if I'm not mistaken. But what this does, it removes any kind of damage off of the bottom bracket faces on the
Okay.
frame. So
Pardon
the
me,
headset,
guys.
top of the headset, bottom of the headset, and the both sides of the bottom bracket, what we do in conjunction with a little bit of cutting fluid, we put pressure on the frame,
Right.
and then very slowly and very evenly remove material
Right.
off of the frame with this. A lot of times it's like bad paint jobs or damage caused by it being ridden loose.
Right. It looks very similar to the chamfing tool that we use in plumbing. We have one
Oh,
to
yeah.
do the inside to deburr it, so what you're supposed to do
Gotcha.
on every piece of pipe you cut. And then we have another one that goes on the outside to face it and give it a slight bevel so it eases into
all
the
right,
fitting. So yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Kinda like that.
Same similar concept. So
And again, this guy is kind of one of those things we don't use very often because now everything's integrated.
Integrated.
And everything is just going to be pressed in with that bearing tool we saw earlier.
Call the Smithsonian.
But it does come out every once in a while, and again, just something cool that not everybody will get to see.
yeah, awesome. All right. So last but not least, we got this thing. And
The
this
next
thing,
one, this guy we use quite a bit. This is the tool that we use when your threaded bottom bracket was ridden loose for too long and you've destroyed the
So you basically got to recut the threads.
So this is our thread recutter on there. This makes a cool sound when you take it apart. It's one of my favorite sounds.
I'm not even going to touch that one. Seriously, guys, that would be bad. We would get banned from YouTube, so I'm just going to leave it alone. But let's hear it again.
And this guy, oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I'm going to quell the bad thoughts. You ever been in one of those fucking souvenir shops and you got the kid with the little blub, blub, blub with a thing?
Little cork thing,
Oh,
yeah. Oh yeah,
Ah.
that's right.
The
I forgot
novelty
about
wears
those.
off. But for Brandon saying it was his favorite sound, and then, yeah, that was just...
That was that kid.
No, I was thinking more hookers and blow in Vegas, but along those lines. But yeah, we'll leave it at that.
So again, with cutting fluid, we'll put a little cutting fluid on all these threads.
Right.
It goes in nice and straight. Once you get those threads started, just a nice, easy action, back and forth. We'll get those threads recutted, provided there's still enough material left on that bottom bracket.
Yeah.
Sometimes this is the tool that gives us
the
bad news sometimes. Yeah. It could definitely be a make or break situation, because sometimes the bottom brackets, threaded ones, are ridden too loose, and then there's nothing to work with anymore, and this is useless.
Well, and I want to use this opportunity too a lot of times when we've talked about certain things, we preach maintenance, preventative maintenance, checking certain items and stuff like that. Here's a great example. Not checking your items, whether weekly, once a month, or whatever like that. Just a loose bottom bracket can lead to a destroyed frame.
Right.
And, you know, depending on what frame you have, man, that's a significant investment, $2,000 to $8,000. You know,
absolutely.
So just kind of be mindful of that. You know, it's one of the reasons why we do these videos.
Catch it early.
Yeah, you know, to catch stuff early and maintenance your bike to continually enjoy it. But yeah, that's actually really, that makes a whole lot of sense. But yeah, I can see if you didn't have enough material there,
so
you're
we use
out.
this guy quite a bit.
Nice.
You said this was last but not least. That's actually last but not least.
Last but not least, right? The crack torch.
Man. So this is why we have a wall now. And
have you branded anybody with this?
This is a behind the scenes thing, so we'll let you know. Sometimes we use fire on your bicycles. Typically for two things. Maybe we need to bend that derailleur hanger back. We need to heat it up a little bit. But also sometimes in conjunction with this and a bottom bracket removal tool, sometimes bottom brackets get seized in. And we can heat up that bottom bracket thread, and the difference in materials will give us just enough to remove that bottom bracket.
Nice.
It's not a pretty thing when you see us using fire on your bike, but it happens.
It does
happen. It happens. So
I think you
should little insight.
Do a wire hanger brand and just
all right. You gotta earn it.
That's what I'm saying. You know, we'll get Kale first.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Look at you.
He likes tattoos and things. He likes putting screws in his ears and
get him.
He's a little masochistic.
We'll just be like, hey, does this smell like strawberries? And then he'll hit the deck, and then we'll just
himself.
I mean, we're gonna choose where the brand goes. Come on now. We're joking. We would never do that to Kale. So, anyways, guys. All right. Well, cool. Those were actually a lot of cool tools, and maybe with the bottom bracket or the rear derailleur one, because, you know, I think that might be an interesting one. Let us know what you think about that down in the comments. Something that you don't always see behind the scenes. Dude, the light's getting ready to click again. We've been like moving around. Hey, Brandon can do the safety dance again. Anyways, so yeah. So what you see go on, you know, in front where you guys do the quick repairs and everything, typically, you know, 20, 30 minutes and people are out, they can wait for their bikes, and what goes on behind here, so two different things, two different sets of tools sometimes, depending on how involved the process is.
Exactly.
So that's pretty awesome. No, those are all really cool. Fun, definitely. And I'm glad we were able to keep it reasonably clean for the most part as far as that goes. So, all right, guys, there you have it. Another episode of Toolbox Topic, and we actually talked about tools today, so that was pretty cool. Don't forget, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell notification icon, so every time we post a new video, whether it's Toolbox Topic, a trail video, a Let's Talk About It video, you'll be one of the first people to know and be one of the cool kids on the block, and then you can come hang out at Trek Bicycle Store West Phoenix, because this is where the cool kids are.
And watch us use fire on your bicycle.
Exactly. No, seriously. There's also some more links down below. One to our Instagram, one to our Facebook. We ask that you click and follow us there so you can keep up on all the day-to-day events that go on with Get Out Arizona. There's also going to be a link to Trek Bicycle Store West Phoenix, because I love Brandon and I love the guys here. And if you have any questions on anything that you've seen on one of these videos, or it's jogged your memory and you're like, oh, I should ask about this, give them a call. They'd be more than happy to help you. So I'm not going to put links to those tools down below. I'm sure they're expensive. And yeah, I mean, why? Seriously, guys. I mean, leave it to the professionals at that point, as far as what I would say. So, but all that being said, guys, we love you. We thank you for your support. We love making these videos for you and everything. And we always try to have a good time as well as educate. So on that note, remember what we always say. Be kind to yourself and others. Be amazing stewards out on that trail. And we have to ask, Brandon,
what are you waiting for?
There you go. Get Out Arizona. We will see you on that next adventure. Brandon, thanks so much.
You betcha.
We'll see you again next week. Take care, guys.